So if I'm looking at your roadside declaration, aka your speeches, wherever you have decided to give them, and I'm using that as my compass to judge you, then I'll give you a thumbs up. But when I go on the ground, what you're saying
and what's on the
what
ground,
you're saying
it's
from
not
the top
matching.
of the car versus the podium, and on the podium, it's not matching in any way, form, or shape.
How are you going to use good governance to improve what's in the country? Yes, we need good governance in that country. That's a fact, right? But you yourself, you don't follow the rule of law as a president.
If we go back to President Ruto, he proposed a post-2030 vision that aims to move Kenya towards high-income, industrialized status through agriculture, productivity, industrialization, that's value addition, and technology and innovation. This will be supported by human capital, infrastructure, finance, devolution, climate resilience, and stronger public institutions. This is the post-vision 2030 that he's talking about. Now, one particularly interesting proposal is a national development law designed to stop each new government from simply abandoning the previous government's development program. So Omosh, I'm going to come to you. If you're asked to give an affirmative case for Ruto based on some of the things, because we don't have the details of Vision 2060, he said that we should have some sort of conclave to decide what we want in there. But objectively, why should we, or maybe give an affirmative case of why we should give this a chance?
I can't give an affirmative case on what I don't know, and all this right now, it's fluff. It's all talk.
Okay.
It's I'd call it even legalese political talk. Like I'm just giving you something like nafanya presentation that makes it look sweet, right? And that's what I'm telling you, sijui industrialization, sijui agriculture. He's always been singing this agricultural song. But then if you go down really what to agriculture, the ones who are saying, oh, they're getting seed in EV, blah, blah, blah. Even the people who are getting that seed, wanalia. Wanasema hii seed ya gava wagana issue. Ama nikichukua hii seed, na niweke hii fertilizer, nini zangu are not mahindi. Are not giving the way they're supposed to give.
Yeah.
So there's that thought, and then there's in terms of what's happening versus what he's saying, meaning the roadside declarations, you're standing on top of a car and saying this, but then on the ground there's a totally different thing that's happening. So if I'm looking at your roadside declaration, aka your speeches, wherever you have decided to give them, and I'm using that as my compass to judge you, then I'll give you a thumbs up. But when I go on the ground, what you're saying
and what's on the
what
ground,
you're saying
it's
from
not
the
matching.
top of the car versus the podium, and on the podium, it's not matching in any way, form, or shape.
Okay.
It is not matching at all. And that's where the problem lies. And that has always been the problem with our politicians. What we sing during campaign period, because it's a campaign period now, that stuff does not tabulate, or it does not add up to what people on the ground are seeing and what they need.
Yeah.
That's normally what the problem is.
Kenya, ni mtu alidanganya wa Kenya that for somebody to lead you, they have to have money. So, tunatafuta ngole mtu akona do. Akuja tupate 2020, jamaa na pesa, like, even if somebody has good policies and everything, and they're broke, they try to campaign at Tom Skia.
No, you can't scare a guy who's never held money. Kenyans don't work that way.
Yeah, so there's that concept of we want good leaders, but then
you have to have been rich.
Are we a good electorate?
No, I think the situation where the Kenyan electorate is, even like last week as we were analyzing, like Lynn Ngugi's post, and like her anti-Sifuna post, I think we've been in an abusive marriage for such a long time that whenever, like even someone now good approaches us, we want to view them
In
with
the same-
suspicion,
Same light. Yeah.
in the same light as we viewed all the rest. When you're viewing someone, this person does not have a history of abuse, does not have a history of alcoholism, does not have a history of all the negative traits that made you leave your previous marriage. But because of that trauma, you want us to, like look at him from this same yardstick. Like you're guilty until proven innocent. Yet the people who have been voted for, like in the last couple of elections, are people who've had a trail of issues from before they were elected.
Yeah.
But people
Still
decided
elected
to overlook that.
Yeah. Still elected. Yeah. It's lived and learned behavior.
Yeah. Mika E-Vision 2060. What?
Unauliza Mika.
And now namuuliza Mika, like let's look at it. Let's look at things, like objectively.
Wacha Mika kuja hapa Mikalistically.
Yeah.
Mika, go for it.
Mika, post 2030 vision. What's your fair, honest assessment of what you've had so far?
I think it's a political jargon. It's a response to what Mlinda Mwananchi is trying to talk about. Because look at the things. What did he say? Innovation. Akasema nini ingine?
Technology.
Yeah.
Even good governance was part of it.
Industrialization.
Stronger public institutions.
Okay.
How? And you're selling all of them.
Stronger, yeah. Public institutions are being sold. The ones that are not being sold are being weakened, or they're being run like
You're privatizing them.
Yeah, we have a cabinet secretary, a former cabinet secretary, who came out and said that ministries are being run like what do you call departments. You have to report every day, like they're being controlled. You don't do anything. You're being told what to do in these ministries. You are hired there, but there are people there who are being who run the ministry for you.
Some dodgy people. They tell you what to do.
Yeah. So when we look at the president coming out and telling us post 2030 vision, you realize that the other 2030 was about infrastructure and development of rural places, modernization of the country, electrification of the whole country. But with him, he didn't speak anything about resources. He didn't speak anything about when he just said innovation. He didn't speak anything about how that innovation is going to work, right? He basically just gave a vague picture that seems to have been written by AI on how to expand a vision, right? Because honestly, tell me beyond that, how are you going to use good governance to improve what's in the country? Yes, we need good governance in that country. That's a fact, right? But you yourself, you don't follow the rule of law. As a president, your cabinet secretaries don't follow the rule of law in any way. So what good governance are you talking about? The politicians in your camp are corrupt as hell. The police in the country is being used as a personal vendetta weapon, a personal army. Like, that is a country that you say good governance, and it's a country that in an afternoon we can have like 100 border riders organize themselves and go rob people in a highway for 2 hours with nothing happening. What good governance are you talking about? That was a whole load of bullcrap written by AI.
Okay, so outside President Ruto, can you make a case, like for Sifuna? Because with Sifuna, we only have his record as the ODM Secretary General, as a senator,